Okay, hello everyone. I had a question about how to set up your title page in APA format. So I'm going to go over it really briefly, but I hope that you use other resources at school. One of them is the New Writing Center, the other is Christine Forte in the library, and of course there are several online sources for help. The one that I like to use the most is the Purdue Online Writing Lab, also known as the OWL. You can type in Alan Purdue into any Google search and you'll come to this link. If you type on the APA Formatting and Style Guide, you can get a list of information, how to do references, and also, of course, the title page is included in that as well. The other thing I like about this site is that there is a sample APA paper that I like to use for demonstrations, but you can use as a guide for your paper. And I already have it open right here. Okay, so let's go over the title page just real briefly. The first thing you should note is there's a running head, which actually is spelled out. It is spelled out on the title page. That's the only place the words running head should appear in a header of your paper. And this uses capital R, but the rest is all lowercase, okay? Then use the colon and a space after that, and all capitals for your running head. Now your running head should be essentially a brief version of the title of your paper. It's supposed to be kind of a shorter identifying way. If your title is really short to begin with, it's probably okay to use it again as your running head, but in general you're going to want to have this be an even more compact version than your title. And by the way, your title should also be fairly compact. It shouldn't be a lengthy title. If it's more than, say, 12 words, you probably want to think about reformatting it for APA style. One of the things is you only want to use up to 2 lines for your title. If you're using any more of that, you're now out of APA style and in your own world. So what you want to do is obviously type in the running head, and you also want to make sure that you have the first page number showing. A lot of people miss that because one of the options on Word is, do you want to show the first page number in your paper, because people assume, well, if it's the top of the thing, it is page 1. But you actually do want to show that. It's important if you were to submit this to an anthology of other papers or whatnot. The page number would be really important. It might not be at the top. So after you put in your title, you're going to put in your name, your full name, and the university that you come from. Your professors, if you're writing this for a class paper, they may also want you to put in your course title or their names as a way of identifying what course you're turning this in for. But for all types of research publications, this is the format you're going to want to use. So that's a real brief demonstration about that. I want to show you one thing about Word and setting up a Word document for this. So if you have a different version of Word, which is understandable, you'll have to do a little bit of searching around, but this is going to be fairly similar. One thing is I always like to use the formatting palette. You can find most of the format information in the other headers here, but I like to use the formatting palette. I think it's easier. Make sure that your document is set up to 1-inch margins all the way around. Okay, see how it says margins 1 inch, 1 inch, 1 inch? That's important for APA style, not just for the title page, but for all the pages you do. The other thing is regardless of what your default font is, make sure it's in Times New Roman and the size is 12. You also want to make sure the line spacing is put on double spacing. Now you may do this a different way than I'm doing it here, but the important thing is to note that all papers will have the consistency of Times New Roman 12 and double spaced, regardless if it's the title page or the last page. So, which should be your reference page, by the way. So in order to set up a, you want to set up your title page with headers. So for me, in my version of Word, I can do that by double-clicking in the top of the page, and it'll automatically pull up the header menu. And I do want to have it be different on the first page. That's because I actually am going to type in the words running head, and I don't want that to appear on all the other headers, but I want the rest of the information to appear in all the rest of the headers. So I'll make that clear when I show you. The other thing you want to do is make sure you've inserted that page number at this point, okay? So the page numbers you're going to want to insert, you're going to want to make sure they're the top, put it into the header, make sure it's the right alignment, and do show the number on the first page, Okay? Okay. So now when I click on, there's a different first page, the number shows up, and I can type in running head, note which letters I capitalize and which I don't, and then I put on my cap locks button and I go ahead and type in my running head, which in this case doesn't really matter what it is. The point is it's a shorter version of your title generally, and it's going to be in all caps. Now this part right here, that is the part that's going to continue in the other headers of your paper. So on every page you should have just this part. Whatever that mini title is that you created, that should be on all pages following the title page. Okay? So then you can click out of there and you'll see it kind of goes to gray and whatever. And you know, this is a little bit, it's not as refined as to where to start this, but generally it's about a third of the way down the paper. And you're going to want to go ahead and make sure that it's centered. And then you're going to type in the title of your paper, which in this case you're going to use capital and lowercase letters. So that means that I'm going to type in fake words here, but make sure that if it's, you know, if it's just like of, you could do that, but so if it's really just connecting words, you don't have to capitalize the first letter, but otherwise you should. And if it takes up multiple lines, go ahead and hit return and finish off the words. Now if that's confusing because I used gibberish words instead of real words, I apologize for that. Then what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to type in your own name, student, I'm going to call myself in this case, and of course Antioch University, and if you want to do Antioch University Santa Barbara, you can do that too. And that is essentially what your title page should look like in the end. So I hope you found that helpful. Again, check out the sample papers on the OWL online. Also use the resources at school that are available to you if you have more questions about this. Specifically the new writing lab that can help you with this, and also refer to the APA 6th edition style manual, and that'll also have a sample and some demonstrations about how to format this correctly. But now this is essentially in correct format. You can go ahead and return down to your next page, put in your other headers, and continue along. So I hope you found this helpful. That's how to set up a title page in APA format using the 6th edition of the APA format style manual. Thank you.